Okay, imagine this. It's October 6th, 2009. Suddenly, everything just stops.
Like a switch flipped off.
Exactly. For 2 minutes and 17 seconds, every single person on Earth blacks out. And when they wake up,
They've seen it. They know precisely what they'll be doing 6 months down the line, April 29, 2010 specifically.
it's got to be one of the most compelling sci-fi ideas ever pitched for TV, right? So high stakes.
Absolutely. I mean, right away you're thinking fate, free will, destiny, chaos, all that stuff wrapped in this global mystery.
And that, of course, was the hook for FlashForward, the ABC drama from 2009. So our mission today for this deep dive is to unpack the sources around this show because it had, like, everything going for it.
Huge concept, big budget, great time slot.
Right, and yet, poof, gone after 22 episodes, canceled in May 2010. So we really need to dig into how something that started so strong could just, well, fizzle out so spectacularly.
It's a fascinating case study, really. You know how hype, creative messes, and some really bad logistical calls can just sink a ship.
And we should probably mention up front, it was based on Robert J. Sawyer's novel from '99. Okay, so let's start with maybe the biggest factor right out of the gate. The hype. You really can't talk Flash Forward without talking Lost.
Oh, definitely not. And ABC wasn't exactly subtle about it. They weren't just hinting at similarities
No, they flat out called it the next Lost.
aggressively. And crucially, they gave it the exact time slot Lost had just left, that coveted spot.
I mean, talk about pressure. That's not just setting the bar high. That's almost setting it up to fail in a way.
It really is. Because the second you say you're the heir to a phenomenon like Lost, every little thing gets compared. The scrutiny is just immense right from day one.
Yeah, possible scrutiny. But, okay, to be fair, the initial package looked amazing.
It did. They got a fantastic cast together. You know, signaling quality. Josephine's leading as FBI agent Mark Benford, the guy trying to figure out his own vision.
And John Cho as his partner, Dimitri No. Sonya Walder, too.
Right. And then the big one, Dominic Monaghan.
Which felt less like casting and more like a flashing neon sign saying, hey, Lost fans, over here.
Hey, pretty much. It was a very clear nod, confirming that promise, you know, mixing the big mystery, who did this, why,
Yeah.
with these really personal stories. What does your future vision mean?
Yeah, because every character had their own 6-month destiny hanging over them.
And some of the ideas that spun out of that were genuinely gripping.
Yeah.
The sources always bring up the Blue Hand Club.
Ooh, yeah, that one was chillin'.
Right, because it's about the absence of hope. The Blue Hand members were the people who didn't get a vision. Nothing for those 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
So they assumed.
They assumed they'd be dead by April 29, 2010. I mean, what a dark, fascinating concept. Pure existential dread.
It really is. And you know, another sign of the ambition here was that real-time gimmick they tried.
Yeah, aligning the show's future date with the actual calendar date.
Exactly. The whole season pointed towards April 29, 2010, and they planned the schedule. So the episode dealing with that day actually aired on April 29th, 2010.
Which sounds cool, creates buzz.
Yeah.
But wow, the pressure that puts on the writers.
Totally. You've got this immovable deadline for the big payoff, and if you don't stick the landing, if the answers aren't there...
Every little crack starts to show. And this show, well, it already had some structural wobbles happening behind the scenes.
Wow, you're beautiful. Shut up.
Okay, so the height set this impossible standard, but the sources are pretty clear. The internal chaos basically guaranteed they wouldn't meet it. We're talking major instability from the start.
Oh, yeah. A total revolving door in the writer's room, which is just poison for a show this complex. It needed one clear vision, you know? Never really got it.
So David S. Goyer, the co-creator, big name, Batman Begins, he was involved initially.
Yep. Co-created it, helped launch it, and then left midway through season 1.
Wow, okay. That's huge. Losing that foundational voice so early.
And it didn't stop. Mark Guggenheim came in, then he left. Goyer actually came back briefly near the end. It was just constant churn. Deadly for a serialized show like this.
So how did that mess behind the cameras actually affect what people saw on screen each week? The sources mentioned tonal whiplash.
Yeah, it made things really confusing for viewers. When the showrunners keep changing, the tone just bounces all over the place.
Like 1 week it's a spy thriller.
Exactly. High octane, global conspiracy, FBI chasing leads. Then the next week, boom, it's suddenly this heavy domestic melodrama about, marriage problems caused by the flash forwards.
So you didn't know whether to expect action sequences or tearful confessions?
Pretty much. It could find a consistent groove. And then you had the sheer number of characters they were trying to juggle.
Yeah. Too many storylines.
Way too many. They tried to give everyone an important flash forward, which sounds good, but it just spread the focus too thin. And that fed into the biggest complaint about pacing. The pilot. Fantastic. Hooked nearly 12.5 million people.
Amazing start.
But then, it felt like the mystery just stalled. A lot of viewers felt those mid-season episodes were just padding,
Yeah.
Like they were deliberately holding back answers.
That could take days. They're going to want to vet all of our personal files.
Well, not if they don't have passwords.
Okay, so creative turmoil, pacing issues, but then there's the network side. The sources suggest ABC execs were maybe making things worse.
It seems so. Reports indicate they were pushing the writers to stretch out the main mystery, to not give answers too quickly.
Which sounds familiar.
Depressingly familiar. It's like they learned absolutely nothing from the biggest criticism people had about Lost, dragging out the puzzle box too long. They just did it again.
Wow. But okay, the scheduling. That seems like the real unforced error here.
Oh, the death blow. Absolutely. So Flash Forward airs its first 10 episodes, gets buzz, people are talking.
Late 2009, things are looking okay, despite the wobbles.
Right. And then the network benches it. From December 2009 all the way to March 2010. For a show built on complex mystery and viewer recall, that's just sabotage.
People forget, or they just find something else to watch.
Exactly. All that momentum, gone. All the intricate plot points, faded.
And the numbers show it, right? We can actually see the damage that hiatus did. You said the premiere was huge.
Yeah, almost 12.5 million viewers. Looked like ABC had found its replacement hit.
But after that 4-month gap,
Ratings collapsed. Brutally. When it came back in spring 2010, viewership was down to an average of just 5 million.
ouch. That's more than half the audience gone. Over 60% vanished.
For an expensive sci-fi show, losing 7 million viewers. Cancellation becomes pretty much inevitable at that point. The math just doesn't work anymore.
Right, the budget can't justify those numbers.
And the final kick for the fans who did stick around. The ending. Or lack thereof.
Ugh, yeah. The finale didn't wrap things up neatly. It wasn't a conclusion.
Not at all. It ended on another massive cliffhanger, teasing a second global blackout event, whole new consequences.
And then cancellation.
Immediate cancellation. So fans who'd invested a whole season trying to figure out the first Flash Forward were just left hanging permanently about the second one. It's a really unsatisfying way for it all to end. Hashtag tag outro.
So wrapping this up for you, our listener, the story of Flash Forward is really, it's a classic what could have been a perfect storm, almost.
Yeah, it's become this cautionary tale in TV history. Shows how even the best concept can get derailed by too much hype, network meddling, creative chaos.
All of the above.
And there was that philosophical angle too, right? The author of the original novel, Robert J. Sawyer, he wasn't shy about his disappointment.
He felt the show kind of lost the plot.
Yeah, lost the deep philosophical questions from his book about destiny and humanity and traded them for, well, a more standard FBI procedural based in L.A. So the failure wasn't just logistical, it was maybe conceptual too in the execution.
It promised this huge global canvas.
But mostly painted in one corner, focused on that L.A. office.
Which really makes you think, especially now.
Right. In today's world, with streaming giants like Netflix, Amazon, Apple, who have these massive global budgets, what does it actually take now?
What level of risk, financial and creative, do you need to commit to truly deliver on a world-spanning sci-fi story?
And how much bigger does the scope need to feel in, say, 2024 to meet those huge expectations and avoid the fate of Flash Forward? So something to chew on. What happens when a show promises the entire world but mainly gives you just one city?